Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we are playing Lock the Killer in the Cage. I mean, I'm sorry for the constructor, but awful title. I mean, it's just negative. So that's what you have in the picture here, a very angry looking killer. I mean, you can almost see murder in the eyes there. Finally locked behind bars in this, it looks like a jail cell rather than a prison cell. Hopefully we'll get there eventually after the appropriate due process. But enough of all of this negativity. Let's actually take a look at the puzzle, which I am genuinely excited about. So we are today playing Shifter Lines 102 by gUBBLOR, Lock the Killer in the Cage. Now, one of the reasons I'm particularly excited about it is, I was playing the previous puzzle 101. If you haven't already, start there. It is far more approachable. It is a 1-star difficulty rating. I would probably be even say on the easier side versus this 2-star one. And what I do remember saying in the end is I was really excited about this new rule set. I'm really looking forward to playing a harder difficulty one. And lo and behold, I was looking at what are the next set of puzzles I should be featuring, and boom, there you go. Another shifter line, this time 102, and a harder puzzle to go with as well. So, rule sets. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So place the digits 1 through to 9 in each empty cell. And digits must not repeat in the same row, such as the one that I highlighted. So that means the digits 1 to 9 in there. In the same column, so the digits 1 to 9, no repeats. And each 3 by 3 box, such as the one I've got highlighted here, and you can see defined by all of these darker black lines. Shifter line rules. Again, I'll encourage you to play 101 if you haven't already. We have the following rule sets. So adjacent digits within the same box on a shifter line, so these are all of these like limey green slides, lines. I'm going to say, lime green lines. Try and say that a few times quickly. So all the digits that are adjacent on the same line in the same box must both share the same parity, as in even or odd, and polarity, as in low or high. So for example, if that was a 1, because this is on the same line in the same box, that's a 3. However, when the line enters a new box, either the polarity or the parity shifts, never both. So this is odd low digits. I can go odd high digits, for example, a 7 or 9. Or I could do an even low digit, like 2 or 4. What I cannot do is go even high digit, like 6 or 8. One more thing about the shifter lines is shifter lines can never have a 5 on it, so that wouldn't work. Yes, it's an odd digit, but it's neither low nor high. You cannot use them on these lines. What other rules do we have? We've got Kropki dots. So a black dot between cells indicates cells that are a value within a 2 to 1 ratio. So let's use this value here. If I place a 2 in here, I could have a 1, as in 1 times 2 is 2, or a 4, as in 2 times 2 is 4. There are also white dots between cells. So if I continue with my 2 example, this cell would have to be adjacent or consecutive. So 1, as in 1 plus 1 is 2, or 2 plus 1 is 3. And these would be valid pencil marks according to the Kropki dot rule set. It also does state not all dots are shown. So if this was, since I already have a 1 on the grid, nothing stops me from having a 2 in here. Just the fact that these 2 cells are adjacent doesn't require them to have a black or white Kropki dot between them. And then lastly, we have killer cages. The digits in the cage must sum to the number printed in its corner, and digits may not repeat within the cage. So we've got a cage up here that is telling us, and you can see I've highlighted 2 cells, the dashed lines are defining them, and they need to sum up to the value that's shown in the top left corner, which is 9. These 3 cells are also 9. These 3 cells are 16, 15, 9, and 9. So that's all the rules we have for today. And if you're not scared about locking killers in cages, I mean, I guess society should be doing that in general. Link will be in the description down below for you to play along as usual. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I'm getting on. So just taking it all in, like box 3 here has tons of clues. Box 7 here has tons of clues. So that's kind of where I'm thinking I'm going to start. Let's take a look at box 3 first. I'm not sure it's the right one, but let's go with it. So we know that a 15 cage is always made up of 6, 7, 8, or 9. Did I not seize? Now I'm going to use colors in here. So I'm just going to show you what the colors are. I'm going to use red, orange, kind of gray, green, and blue. And essentially I'm going to use blue for low even digit, green for low odd digit, gray for 5, orange for high odd digit, and red for high even digit. So just sort of keep these colors in mind as I continue with the solve. This means that these two cells are either orange or red, because I don't know if it's 6, 7, 8, or 9, I just know that it's high. And I know that because whatever this cell is colored, this will be the same. So this is orange or red. What else do I know? I know that this is going to have to be gray. So it was either green or blue, which also means that since 5 is not here, 5 is not there, 5 is in the 9 cage, the 5 would be one of these two cells with a 4 for certain, so that it can actually add up to a 9. Now the other part of this is because I have a 4 in here, what I know is this can no longer be blue, because that would have required 2 and 4 in here. That's not the case. That's now 1 and 3. This is now 2 and 4. And this is now 5 and 7. 5 and 7 means this is not a 7, 8, 15. This is a 6, 9, 15. And this cell is actually known. We actually have our first digit. Only took 2.5 minutes. I mean, celebrate the little wins when we get them. This means because it's on the same line, this has to be red. So that is 6. That is 9 now, to make sure that the 15 cage adds up to it. The 15 cage actually adds up to 15. So 6 plus 9 is 15. And we have digits, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm not sure, and this is probably why I probably should have started with box 7, because you can see there aren't that many clues coming out of this box to the rest of the grid. I mean, I know that this is 2 or 4, and therefore blue. I know that this digit here is either blue, as in the other 2, 4, because it's either changing polarity or parity. If it's changing polarity, it's a high odd digit, in which case it's 7. And then the other option is it's only changing parity and it's staying low, so that would be 2 or 4. What we have in here, this could be 2, 4, as in it's changing polarity. It could also be changing parity and staying high, in which case that would be 9 and 7. And the unfortunate part is these could be the same color, making it very easy to get to whatever this thing is going to be. And I know it's not blue, but it could be red. Yeah, that's quite easy. It could even be green. I think the only thing that it can't be is orange or blue. I mean, it's a weird way of thinking about these lines, but why, even if that wasn't blue, I don't think this can be blue because you're changing one thing at a time. So if I'm going from green to orange, orange can never be next to a blue. You can't go from 7 to a 2, 4, you're changing both. 1 and 3 could go to a blue, in which case clearly blue cannot go to blue again. So there's almost like a pattern where certain colors can actually change together and certain colors cannot. Like if I almost put it in a grid here, a grid there, I can do blue to red, I can do blue to green, and I can do orange to green or orange to red. And it's almost like you can always move in one of these directions, but you can never move 2 steps. So you can only ever move 1 step on this kind of almost like circle. I know it's a square, but you can only sort of rotate around it in clockwise or anti-clockwise. And the fact that you're at green here tells us that it's either orange or blue. Once you're at orange or blue, you can only ever come back to green or red. Anyhow, box 7, wasn't it? Let's have a think about this. So the 9 cage is very interesting. Why am I thinking about the 9 cage? Because it's actually much more restricted than you may think. So let me just use some random colors. The colors are not going to be correct in here, but I'm going to use one color there, one color here, one color there, and then remember this can't be a 5. This can never be a 5 on a black Kropki dot, because 5 times 2 is 10, 5 divided by 2 is not an integer number, so it doesn't belong in at least in a normal Sudoku rule set. So one of these is going to be a 5, meaning whatever this cell is, I'll pick orange, one of these is orange. So that'll be like a valid color scheme of this. Obviously I can rotate any of the colors around. Now the question is the 5 in here or the 5 in there? So if it is a 5, and these are the same color, they're always the same color, I need to get to 4, this would be 1 and 3. If that wasn't a 5 though, I need to place another digit in here. I guess the next set of colors that this could be the same would be 2 and 4. This could be a 3. That would force this to be an 1. And then we break. Because the 1 on a black Kropki dot has to be 2, which I've already placed, as you can see, in there. I'm really making a butcher of this today. Let me just... So if it wasn't 1 or 3, the next color up would be 2 and 4. I've already got to 6. To get to 9, this needs to be a 3. The same color that the 3 is the 1, and it goes down here. Clearly the 5 has to find a home. I've already placed it in the center. And then the 1 on a black Kropki dot would say this is 2 and this is 4 because it's the same color. I've just doubled our 2 4s. So a long way of saying is that I think this entire box is somewhat fixed, with this being 1 3, this being a 5, not 2 4. This is now green. This is gray. Now this can't be a 3 6 pair anymore. It also cannot be a 2 4 pair, because that would put both of these as blue, and notice now I need a third blue because these 2 lines have to be the same color. So that can't be 2 4. The only option that I'm left with is 4 and 8, and therefore that's red, these are blue, that's orange, and that's the only way of completing this box. Now I need orange to go to, well, it's either green, which it isn't, because we've got green looking at this cell, and therefore this cannot possibly be green, or it's red. And this 6 tells us the order. That's 6, that's 8. Now we need a color that's between green and red. This can only be blue. I really wish I kept that square up in here somewhere. It'd be sort of rather than having to sort of think through this every single time, I may actually do just that. I'm going to keep this here because I don't think I'm going to come up to box 2 for quite some time. And that will sort of just, hopefully, as you're looking at this, make this a lot easier. This blue could be green or orange. Sorry, green or red. Which is interesting because we basically covered all the greens and reds in this box now. 16 cage may actually be interesting now. And the reason I say that is... Actually, I can do more in box 4, but let me just finish my thoughts on a 16 cage and then we'll take a look at box 4 because I just spotted some logic there. So 16 cage without 2, 4 and 8. I don't know if that's more restricted than one might think. So if there is a 1, then I need to get to 15, but not with 7, 8 because 8 is not available. 6, 9 works. If there isn't a 1, there isn't a 2, I'm guessing next digit to try would be a 3. And if I have a 3, I need to get to 13 with the remainder. 9, 4 is not available. 8, 5 is not available. And that would be 6, 7 would be next. And if neither 1 or 3 is in there, 4 is not, 5 would force me to get to 11. 11, well, 5, 6 will no longer be available because I've used a 5. What else? 5, 6, 7, 4, 3, 8, 9, 2. 5 doesn't belong in this cage. 5 is, in fact, one of these cells. And then we're back to 6. And it looks like in every scenario we have a 6. In essence, it's a 6 and then some combination of digits that gets us to 10. 1, 9 or 3, 7. Notice this is not 6 or 9. So clean that up. This is green or orange. May help us think about that in a moment, but we'll leave it as it is. And then in essence, what we have in here is a 5 with either a 1, 7 or 3, 9. Is that correct? No. We need to have something that adds up to 10 in here. So it's either 1, 9 or 3, 7. So we have in here 5 with another 2 digits that add up to 10, 1, 9 or 3, 7. And I don't know if I want to color all of that. I won't color all of that. So no 6 is in here, no 6 is in there. 6 is in here. Without the 5, that's a 6, 7 pair. That's a 9. That's a 7. What is this now? Let's have a think about that. Oh, that means this is 5, 1, 9. 1 and 9 are no longer in here because obviously I couldn't have put the 3 and 7 down there with a 6, 7 pair in there. This is now 8 and... Come on, I'm sure I can see this. 3 and 8. Now, take a look at this. Green or orange connecting to green or red. Now, I'm pretty sure... Oh, so if this is orange, I can be green. If that was green... If this is orange, I can be green or red. If this is green, I can't stay green nor get to red. So that's not green, that is orange, and therefore this is not 3. I know it's not 7 or 9, this is 7 then. Don't know why I must have messed up my updates, and this is not 9, this is now a 3, 6 pair. Sorry for the messy solve. I'm hoping you're following this despite like shocking pencil marking from me. Hopefully the fact that I'm verbalizing everything still makes sense. So this is orange or red. Yeah, it can go in a lot of places. I'm not interested in thinking about what this is. This is no longer a 7. That's blue. Doesn't help us in terms of the green and red. At least we know that these two are blue. That's not nothing. Right, back to box 4, where I actually really wanted to add some value. So take a look at the orange cells in here. That means there are no orange cells in any of these 3. So I've got the following 4 cells where I need to place 2 oranges. If I place an orange in here, I've broken it, because the second orange is either on 1 where I need a 3rd orange, or same thing. So it's not that. This is also not orange because it would require another orange where it can't be. These are 2 oranges. A statement you never thought you'd actually say on a Sudoku puzzle. This is not going to green. This is going to have to go to red. That's the only viable option that's left. So that's an 8. And now I need 4 and 5 up here. Can probably think about the 9 for a second. So this is not 1, 8, not 2, 7. This is 3, 6, and it's not 4, 5. That's 3, 6. This 6 tells us the order. 6, 3, color, color, color. Done. This cell now. This could be blue or green still, isn't it? So not necessarily helpful. What about this cell? What can this be? It's not red. It's not orange. This could be... It's not green. This is blue. Meaning this can't be blue. Has to change. That's green. That 3 tells us the order. That's 1. That's 3. That's 2 or 4. We've actually got a 4 or 5 pair in here. That's a 2. That's not a 2. And now we are left with a 4, 5 pair in here and a 2 in there, which I can also color. What color am I missing? I'm missing another green. This is a 1. Done, done, and kind of done. This is 7 or 9. And this 9 tells us the order. That's the 9. That's the 7. That gives me the 4. And that, of course, he gives me the 2 because for a second there, I kind of thought I lost my mind. But it's just because this was a reference that I no longer need. The 5, 7, I kind of missed that, and the 2, 4, staring at these. That's 5, that's 4. More colors. I know you guys love all of my coloring and staying on top of it. Not sure you are, but I mean, we'll assume we are. That can't be red anymore because I've got 2 reds staring at it. I say can't be anymore. It's probably not been red for a while. That's 1, 3. That can't be green anymore. That's 6, 8. I need 5, 7, and 9. Do I know which is which? Not sure I do, if I'm honest. Okay, what do we have left? I need a 3 in here, can only be there. I need a 7, can only be there. Still, that could obviously be a 9 or 7. I mean, this is 5 or 9. I'll just pencil mark that. We'll figure out colors later. What else? These 2 we can probably figure out. This is 5 and 6, it seems. There is a 1. Did I make a mistake? I made a mistake. Which number did I repeat? The 7. Yeah, that's an 8. Excuse me. And therefore this is 1, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Okay, that's not 1. That's 7 or 9, so that's a definite orange in here. That's not 1. That's a 5, 9 pair. That's a 6. That's a 5. That's no longer a 5. Am I making this harder than it is? It feels like I am. It really does feel like I'm making it harder than it should be. Anyhow, moving on. Where else should I look? I've got another green, another blue, and an 8. And the 8 is one of these two. So I think it may be worthwhile thinking about what this color is, because it's not orange, it's not green, and it's not red, because I've used them. There's at least one of each of these in here. That can only be blue. That's a 2-4 pair. And therefore I need a 1-3 and an 8. The 8 can't be in here. That's the 8. That's the 1-3. That's one of the 1-3s. That's the reds done in this box. That's the greens done in this box. I don't know why I called it 1-3. It's only 1-3, 1, because I've already pencil marked the 3. And now we need 5 and 9 again. What's up with all these 5 9s? Right. How am I not able to figure out some of these things out? Blue can't go to orange. That changes both. That's 6. That's 7. That's red. That's orange. Right, let's see if we can actually fill in some of these things quickly now. That's a 1-9 pair you can see in there. That can't be an 8. Probably couldn't have been an 8 for a while. That's a 3. That's an 8. This could be 2 or 4, 2 or 4. None of that matters. 1-9, 1-9. What 2 cells do we have in here? We need a 2. I know where that goes. We need a 4. I also know where that goes. 4 gives me the 5 and 4. Been using colors maybe a little bit too much. I should just focus on, solving sometimes. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 5, 7, or 9 again. I think I kind of need to think about the 5s. I keep doing that mistake with gUBBLOR's puzzles where I say, you really should pay attention to the 5s, and then I just ignore them for the entire puzzle. And then they start popping up everywhere, kind of screaming at you to say, just pay attention, Sleuth. How about look at the 5s? So maybe let me do that for a second, just to see if I can just restore a bit of order here. Such as these 5s are lining up as such. There are no 5s in here. There's no 5 in there. That's a 5. Almost tempted to say boo-hoo. That meant nothing. Well, that does actually mean something. This is a 5 now. That's the only place for it in box 5. That's a 9. That's a 1. That's a 5. That's a 9. That's a 7. That's a 1 as a result. And this is a 7-9 pair. I actually don't know the order still. Some of these are like really fighting every step of the way. They're not getting resolved anytime soon, it seems. 7 9s, 7 9s. I'll just carry on. 1s. 5. Right. We know what this is. Blah, 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 blah. That's a 3. Gives me the 1, the 3. That's another 7 9, maybe. Yeah, it really doesn't give me much here. I think that's kind of need to be resolved outside of the box. Am I going to have to do a bit more? It seems like it. I need another orange and a 1. I need a 6 and 8. Here's an 8. Finally giving me something. The 6 gives me the 3, the 6, the 3 gives me the 1, the 3, the 1 forces the 2 in here, the 4. Do any of these help in there? I'm sure the 1 does. The 1 does. This is now 7 or 9. Yeah, we're back to that famous 579 setup, but actually the 9 cage is finally useful. This is not a 2, that's a 4, therefore that's a 5, that's a 7. That helps unwind a lot of these oranges. Again, not a sentence you ever thought you'd say as part of a Sudoku puzzle. But there we go, we're saying it. Oh, this has to be the 2 clearly. That's the 4, that's the 2, that's the 4, that's the 2. And that's the solution to today's puzzle. Stunning puzzle, gUBBLOR. I immensely enjoyed it once again. And I'm sorry, like for those that are just watching me click all over the grid, just randomly coloring things. I hope it's not too frustrating, but I just seem to get way too much joy out of it, especially reading Shifter Lines 101's comments about how many of you were able to solve it without colors. I mean, you probably could, but why would you? I mean, look at it. It's beautiful. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'm fairly confident you enjoyed the puzzle. It was absolutely phenomenal. Looking forward to reading your comments and your feedback about the puzzle and the solve, and see you guys back in the next video. Bye for now.